Hi mathematicians, this is Mr. Almeida. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to compare ratios. I do want to remind you that the one criteria that we have to focus on when we're dealing with comparing any numbers is that we have to have the same units or the same denominators. We've been talking about that for a while now, especially when we're talking about comparing fractions. And because ratios are complex fractions, the same idea applies here. So we have two strategies to use when we are talking about comparing fractions or ratios. The first is to compare fractions using equivalent fractions. And remember, to make equivalent fractions, we're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator, or all parts of the ratio, by the exact same number. Or we can either make a ratio table until we get a common denominator. So let's deal with this word problem here that allows us to apply comparing ratios. Dominic is buying supplies for his poetry class. He likes to write poems in his poems in black ink, then decorate the pages with colorful drawings. The Mega Writer pack has 6 colored pencils and 9 black pens. The Mini Writer pack has 3 colored pens and 6 black pens. The question here is, do the packs have the same ratio of colored pens to black pens? Well, let's figure this out now. The ratio we're trying to find is colored pens to black pens. So let's come up with a symbol for colored pens, C. 2 always translates to the colon. And then black pens is B. So we're looking for the ratio of C to B for both the Mega Writer pack and the Mini Writer pack. So for Mega and Mini, we're going to write C to B. So colored pens to black pens, colored pens to black pens. All right. For Mega, it says that we have 6 colored pens and 9 black pens. So colored to black pens is 6 to 9. And then the Mini is 3 colored pens for 6 black pens, so 3 to 6. All right. Now, in order to compare any numbers, we have to have the same denominators. Do these ratios have the same denominator? No. But we can make them have the same denominator by using the equivalent fractions. So I'm going to write 6/9 underneath Mega and 3/6 underneath Mini. And I can multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number to make an equivalent fraction. In this case, because I want them to have the same denominator, I'm going to multiply by what this other fraction's denominator is. So I'm going to multiply both the 6 and the 9 by this 6. That's right here. And I'm going to multiply the 3 and the 6 of this fraction by the 9 of this fraction. So now both of these fractions have the same denominator, which is 9 times 6, which is 9 times 6, okay? So because they have the same denominator, we can now compare their numerators. So what is 6 times 6? 36. I'm going to write 36 right there. And what is 3 times 9? 27. So when they have the same denominator, do they have the same numerator? No. So therefore, these ratios are not the same, okay? So you can use you can compare fractions using equivalent fractions, or you can use the ratio table. So I'm going to show you the ratio table strategy as well, okay? We are going to have Mega and Mini again, and we're going to make a ratio table for colored pens to black pens and colored pens to black pens for each of them. Okay, for Mega, it's 6 to 9, and for Mini, it's 3 to 6. So what does this mean? It means for every 6 colored pens, there are 9 black pens. So another 6 colored pens would be a total of how many? 12. Means there's another 9 black pens, which means we have a total of what? 18, okay? If you notice, we multiplied both the 6 and the 9 by 2. That's how you make equivalent ratios, okay? All right, I could keep on going down this line, but I'm going to stop and keep on going until I get the same number of black pens, okay? Because I want the common denominator of black pens so I can see if the number of colored pens is the same. All right, so for mini, it's for every 3 colored pens, there are 6 black pens. So another 3 colored pens would mean a total of 6, meaning another 6 black pens means total of 12. Another 3 colored pens would mean there are 9 colored pens, and another 6 black pens would mean there are 18 black pens. My goal was to make sure I had a common denominator, and look right here. We have the common denominator of 18 black pens. So I look to see if they're the same ratio, they're going to have the exact same number of colored pens. And are these the same number? No. The mega pack has 12 black pens and the mini pack has 9 black pens when they both have 18 black pens. So therefore, the ratios are not the same. Okay? So to answer this question, we have no, the packs don't have the same ratio of colored pens to black pens. All right? Now, what if I'm asking you to compare ratios? Just to recap, we're going to use one of 2 strategies. We're either going to compare the fractions in the order that they want us to compare them in, the proper ratio, by using equivalent fractions. So make sure we have the same denominator, and then we just have to focus on what their numerators are because they are in the same sequence. Or we can use a ratio table until we get to a common denominator. And then once we have a common denominator, in order to compare them, we can see which one has more and which one has less, okay? So I hope that you better understand comparing ratios after going through this video, and I wish you all the best in your journey with ratios. Take care, mathematicians.